Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. And the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? He had to lost his Pipi because he was cheating on me with another girl, in which I forgave him. But when I could not forgive him when he returned back to his ex-wife, why? After everything that I had done for him, after explaining that when we will start to date, I would never allow him to return back to his ex-wife. So the excuse that he gave me was that since they had a child together, then he has to be in communication with her, not knowing that this was his own way of wanting to go back to Eastern Cape to sleep with his ex-wife, not me. Maybe another woman, but not me. I was once a prostitute. I came here to South Africa from Zim, working as a prostitute, taking care of my daughter. He stopped me from prostitution, claiming that he loved me, and he said I should move in with him. When I left prostitution, I helped this man to start a business, and his business grew so big with the promise that he was going to help me to get an ID after staying together for a very long time because we were already married, but now the rules are quite tough. He said you need to stick by me at least for about 10 years. 3 kids down the line, he returned to Eastern Cape to his ex-wife, and when he did that, in anger, I returned back to my home. I do come from Chipinge. You cannot mess around with a lady that comes from Chipinge. Most of the people know this. Why did he force me to do this? I returned back home to my village, and I ended up being helped by this other lady, and I bewitched him. Now his manhood is so tiny, and it is my time now to revenge him. I give him love potions so much that even my auntie said, you need to stop, dear daughter, otherwise he is going to suffer from stomach cancer because a man cannot be fed too many love potions. So now I am the one who is revenging him, and I can even date Nigerians, even the ones who have big donkey manhoods. I was once a prostitute in Johannesburg, but my life, I think it changed when I met the guy who is my husband, a South African man who promised me the world. With his love snatched me off from the streets. He gave me love, and together we struggled because the ex-wife, had taken everything. We started a business. In return, he promised to marry me. He said that he was going to help me to fast-track the process of getting an ID and get my full citizenship and give me a stable life. I gave him 3 kids. I sacrificed everything for him, and when I least expected it, he disappeared, and he went back to the Eastern Cape to his ex-wife. The pain broke me, but I refused to become the victim. I returned back to my village in Chipinge in Zim, and I sought help from one of my auntie's friends, a well-known who is known in the village as a witch and who deals with betrayals like that. They gave me a solution, one that would make him feel so much pain. I said in that ritual, so it is this manhood of yours that has made you to be so clueless and useless, so much that you feel like it is far much better to cheat on me. Well, if it is what has made you to think that you can cheat on me like that, we are going to shrink your manhood. Your manhood is going to shrink back to nothing, and he cannot perform anything as a man anymore. Meanwhile, as for me, after he had returned back to me as a sorry husband, and then I had moved on. I have lovers, strong men from different countries, your Nigerians, those ones with manhoods that are as big as donkeys. I do suffer sometimes when I am sleeping with some of those men, but I don't cry because I know that I am betraying him, and this is the price that he has to pay. When I returned back from Chipinge, there was a time when I thought that the charms were not going to work. This is what I had been given. One of my auntie had made a doll, and this doll I had named it after him. I'll just say Sipho, that doll that I had given the name Sipho, that was representing my husband, who was enjoying his life, always going and playing golf there in Eastern Cape. He would post himself and their child with the ex-wife, and he thought that maybe he was hurting me. Whenever I would speak with him, what he would say is that, don't you have a house there in Joburg? Don't you have workers that are working for you? Don't you have people that are running the company on my behalf? So what do you want from me, woman? You are such a sex addict, so much that you want me around. Let me be. Here I am settling some business deals. That is all that matters. Don't you want money? Everything wants money. And the house that you have there, how much am I paying each and every month? It is a lot, and sex is not going to pay the bills. And you would be posting sometimes with the wife, enjoying even in the hotels, but he was telling me that I love sex too much. There was even a time when I thought that the rituals that we had done were not working, but my auntie kept on telling me that I was supposed to relax because the rituals in time, they were going to work. One night my auntie called me and she said that I was supposed to stand outside. So I went outside and I stood whilst I was waiting for my auntie to call me. Finally, she called me after I had been waiting for her call for about 30 minutes or so. She then told me to go and get a bucket. I went indoors and I got a bucket, and she said that I was supposed to poop in that bucket, and this will be after I had placed that doll that I had named Sipho into that bucket. I pooped in there, and she said take some water and close it and leave it in the sun. For your husband tomorrow, he will be making his way from Eastern Cape, returning back to Joburg. When he comes back, I want you to prepare a nice meal for him. And after you would have prepared a nice meal for him, I want you to break off the manhood, because when they had made this doll for me, it even had a man's manhood. So I broke it off, and she said, I want you to keep it by your side at all the times. Keep it in your room. He is not supposed to see it. Within a very short period of time, that was when my husband texted me and said that the wife was giving him a lot of problems. Tomorrow, he wanted to leave her, and he was sorry for what he had done. I did not even respond. I was pretending as if I was so mad. Early in the morning, he texted me again and he said, now that you are quiet, I don't know if I should return back to you, my lover, or not. Then I said, please come back, for we miss you a lot. He drove all the way from Eastern Cape and he returned. And just like my auntie had told me, he came back. We prepared a nice meal for him, but I was using that water that I had soaked my poop, and I had taken that doll and I had destroyed it. As for the manhood, was the only thing that I kept. To this very day, I have this manhood in the wardrobes. I just placed it amongst some of my toiletries, the ones that I know that he will never touch. That is my own confession. And that love potion of mixing my poo, it worked really well. It does not even want anything to do with the ex-wife. And I thanked my auntie, did send her some money like she had asked me to do. That is my confession. And it is a warning to other men out there. Never hurt the woman that would have sacrificed so much for you, because if a woman sacrifices everything for you, she is the most dangerous. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister, and that was the translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.